everyone to close your eyes for a moment and think about the difficult experience you've been through. Think about how it shaped who you are. Now open your eyes and recognize that this experience likely made you more resilient. Resilient is a powerful adjective to say about someone, let alone a nation. The Lebanese people are known for being resilient. Throughout the nation's history, countless wars and conflicts caused destruction. But above it all, Beirut rose 7 times, while now, counting on 8. According to the American Psychological Association, or APA, resilience is defined as a process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, threats, tragedy, or other significant sources of stress. During last year's Christmas break, I was very overwhelmed. I had just switched from French education to English education. I was on my school's basketball team, meaning I had training sessions and games I had to attend to, which took my mind off finishing up other tasks. I had to submit 2 position papers for a public speaking program. I had to submit a trimestral program and a funding project for Scouts. And I had to attend a 3-day Scout camp since I was Chief of Patrol. And I had to do all of that while balancing my homework and studies, doing other extracurricular activities, and trying to enjoy my Christmas break. Not to mention that I was only 15 years old. Let's just say that I ended up pulling several all-nighters to finish up all my tasks. However, this experience helped me become more resilient. So now, when I'm overwhelmed and have lots of things to do, I time block, meaning I allocate specific times to finish up specific tasks. This is good resilience. In my experience, I adapted and learned how to work under pressure. Resilience is traditionally viewed as a positive trait, since it characterizes one's ability to face challenges and grow. It enhances one's well-being and helps in maintaining a positive view on life, meaning having greater life satisfaction. However, not all resilience is good resilience, and bad or dysfunctional resilience has its side effects. Have you ever asked yourself if there is a wrong type, degree, or context of resilience? Now, dysfunctional resilience is defined as the maladaptation to difficulties or the constant adaptation to trauma, violence, abuse, war violence, or other. For instance, the inhabitants of Lebanon have experienced dysfunctional resilience. The media often portrays Lebanese resilience as a powerful thing and something to be proud of. However, this has affected the population's well-being, causing them to develop dysfunctionality and trauma freeze. This dysfunctional resilience has been building itself on the countless wars that affected the area over the past 50 years. Some coping mechanisms within these societies include sarcasm and a lack of good communication.
وين كنتي دايرة لهلا؟ وين كنتي برا؟ طلع على البيت لشوف، يلا طلع على البيت.
أي بيت؟
البيت؟ راح البيت؟ هيا.
This video withholds sarcasm, as the father is calling on his daughter to return home, although the home is destroyed and they have lost everything. Another global example of dysfunctional resilience is the persistence in an abusive relationship. Here, dysfunctional resilience occurs when the abused partner becomes used to abuse, violence, etc., which leads to their mental and physical distress. Especially in conservative societies, partners are more prone to staying in abusive relationships since they avoid dealing with social judgment. So, some partners believe that although staying in oppressive relationships, it is easier to conform to the norms and values of the society. which leads them to develop dysfunctional resilience. Moreover, a study conducted by the Vinnytsia National Medical University in Ukraine quantified the effect of social and psychological maladaptation, meaning dysfunctional resilience, during wartime. Higher education medical graduates were asked to complete questionnaires, which resulted in the following. Under the influence of the stress of war, the social and psychological adaptation of the students worsens in areas of emotional well-being, microsocial interaction, learning, and leisure. More specifically, some higher education graduates showed a 90.6% decrease in communication and a 68.7% rate of worsening in studies. Other symptoms of dysfunctional resilience include social isolation, emotional numbing, and overworking to avoid dealing with real-world issues. On the other hand, Lebanese high schoolers showed the following symptoms after returning to classes post-war.
We see that our students somehow they are bad listeners. They are bad listeners and they're a little bit hyperactive more than the normal guys and a bit impulsive. And even the tone of their voice is quite higher than any other adolescents of their age anywhere else. And perhaps we go back to related to war, to other things, to other stressors as well.
To cope with dysfunctional resilience, some healthy alternatives to sarcasm include therapy, healthy habit development, and improving the mindset. First, seeking professional guidance in, as we say, getting back on our feet after a traumatic period of time is important and not shameful. Also, developing healthy habits such as spending time on hobbies, eating nutritious meals, and getting enough sleep are important factors that favorize taking our mind off other responsibilities and increasing our motivation to take on other challenging tasks. Last but not least, improving the mindset. In a study done by psychologist and researcher Carol Dweck, two types of mindsets are evident: fixed mindsets and growth mindsets. A fixed mindset is the one where the individual has the potential to grow but does not have the will. People with a fixed mindset often see their abilities and skills as fixed, and thus they will not be motivated to improve or grow. On the other hand, a growth mindset is characterized by the will to take on risks and put in effort to develop new skills and abilities. In the study in 2007, an experiment was held in a fifth grade class. The fifth graders were asked to complete a set of problems, and the teacher was asked to praise some students for their smartness and others for their efforts. The next set of questions was much more difficult. As a result, the students who were praised for their smartness lost confidence and did not try to solve the harder questions out of fear of being judged as not being smart. On the other hand, they had a fixed mindset. On the other hand, the students who were praised for their efforts showed excellent performance and continued to improve. They had a growth mindset. This is why a growth mindset is important. When we strive to improve our abilities and face challenges and grow, we are less likely to have dysfunctional resilience, enabling us to live a healthy lifestyle. Finally, while resilience is usually seen as key to facing adversity and facing challenges, it is important to look out for when our resilience is good or dysfunctional. By noticing weird habits we develop, behavioral cues, and so on, and by addressing these unhealthy habits, we can adopt healthy coping mechanisms such as therapy, healthy habit development, and improving our mindset to better our resilience. Together, we can redefine resilience, not as a mere survival mechanism, but as proof showing that our failures and challenges shape the person that we become. Thank you.